we're live. Welcome to this week's Teaching Raid live stream, coming to you from Sarlona. This week's Teaching Raids are going to be Old Baba's Hut and the Curse of Strahd, the new Ravenloft raids. If you haven't tuned in for one of these events before, this is something we do every week through the winter and spring. Been doing these for 5 years now. Me and my guild, the High Lords of Malkir, have been hosting these events for new players and for people who are just new to whatever raid we're doing. So sometimes we get people who are new to the game, and sometimes we get people who have never raided before. And sometimes we get longtime veterans that are just new to whatever raid we're doing that week. And we usually do them on lower difficulties to keep it nice and stress free, and so we can focus on learning raid mechanics and not stress out about trying to stay alive. We're going to be teaching the Strahd raid a little bit different than we taught it in the winter. We're going to use a different strategy for the crypts part. It's a little bit smoother when it works. Hopefully it works. But I'm going to take a few minutes to get the sign-ups in here. So if you're watching the live stream, you got plenty of time to go grab a drink or something. Welcome Stein, welcome O Precious. You sounded like Mickey Mouse. Welcome Ildrid, welcome Sohu. Welcome Sahaga. We got one more sign up, but he said he may or may not be able to make it, so let me check to see if he's on. And we have one person on standby. Okay, I don't see them on, so I'm going to get the person on standby in here. Hey Sabbathiel, welcome. Had a no-show, so that worked out. Sabbathiel, I know you've run other raids with us, but have you ever attended one of our teaching raids before? Okay, cool. Well, happy to have you. Everybody else that's signed up has attended teaching raids before, so y'all know the deal. Happy to have you guys back. So we're gonna be doing Baba first. if you're not already in the Blue Water Inn, then make your way out here. No, I don't think there are any special considerations going in. I don't think you need any special supplies, none that I can think of. But High Lords, if I'm missing something on that front, let me know.
You might want to pause your bravery bonus if you're going to be doing normal.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. We're going to be doing this on normal, so pause your bravery bonus if you want to. So we're just going to be doing normal so that you guys can focus on learning the raid and not worry about dying and stuff so much. And if you have any questions, I'm going to be explaining everything. But if you have any questions, you get lost, you're not sure what to do, you want more explanation of something, or you just missed me saying something, just ask at any point. Don't hesitate to interrupt, otherwise I'm just going to keep explaining things. Welcome to the live stream, Robert W. and Claude and Prince Noob Sauce. The entrance is, well, everybody's here, I think, so let's see, we're going to go ahead and go in on normal. Go ahead and step in. We are live streaming this, and every week we usually are joined by folks from other servers who are learning along with us. And there probably won't be more than a couple dozen people watching at any given time. But it will be archived on my YouTube channel. If you ever want to go back and watch it, you can. And I want to know who here has, if you've done this raid before, if you're totally new to it, or if you've done it a few times, you're still learning. And I want to know, for the folks watching the live stream too, like what server you're from, and if you've done Baba before, or if you're totally new to it. So 5 first timers, and Sabathiel has done it a few times. Okay. Well, cool. So what's going to happen here? I don't want to spoil the surprise. So let's go ahead and get some. Let's go ahead and get buffed up. See if everybody's in. Yeah, everybody's in. Get your buffs. A lot of mist in here. It's especially misty around the outside. And all the first timers, why don't you guys go ahead and run up to that hut up there. And there's Baba. She's who we're going to be focusing on. Okay, so we got this big spider hut that's going to be stalking us for this part. And whoever it's aggroed on, just like run it around towards the outside. You can't intimidate it. It's just, it's going to just randomly aggro on folks. And it's going to knock you down. What you want to do is just run it away from the party. And you'll know if you have the aggro because there'll be a buff in your buff bar that says the hut hates you. And it looks like a rage face. So if you got that rage face in your buff bar right now, just run away from the party towards the outside and keep the hut away. and you can just kite it around the outside, and everybody else can just focus on Baba. Baba is a spellcaster. It's great if you have a tank that can, you know, hold her aggro and that can deal with her spells. Looks like a Precious One is the winner. Congratulations. Now somebody else has the hut. Sabathiel. And the hut is going to spit furniture out at you too if you're the one with the aggro. Literally spitting furniture out at you. And it can, if you fail your save, you get a cauldron on your head, which blinds you. And looks pretty funny. And we're just going to beat Baba down to 50, and then she's going to take a break. Got several folks watching the live stream right now that have not done this before. Really awesome to have you guys here. Alright, Bob is going to take a break. The hut's going to settle down. This is an explain as you go kind of a raid, by the way, as opposed to, you know, explain everything ahead of time. Now, let's wait out here a moment. I can't remember, do the bees start right away? Or does it take a minute?
They start coming.
So what's going to happen, we're going to go into the hut, but I wanted you to see something that should start up here any moment. There's going to be like a swarm of bees. Here you go. And they're going to tick for damage. Okay, so go ahead and go into the hut. And this is an interesting mechanic. It's like it's almost like a timer mechanic, but there's no, it's not a formal timer that like you're going to fail or something if the time runs out, but it's the bees are going to enter the hut, and they're going to be like slowly moving through the hut behind us. And so we have to accomplish the objectives inside the hut, preferably before the bees catch us, because if the bees catch us, then, you know, we're trying to do what we're trying to do in a swarm of bees all taking damage, and you can heal through it, but it makes it very challenging. So you definitely don't want to, you know, you want to do things as quickly as possible. The swarm of bees moves pretty slowly, but nonetheless, you don't want to take forever to do what you got to do. Okay.
Yeah, like higher difficulties, it'll wipe your party.
Let's see. Oh, Precious One, are you a hurler by any chance? Do you have hurl through hell? Okay, no problem. Let's do this. Reconstructor, you're going to be with me on the left, and all the first timers are going to go left with me. Okay, so Voodoo Recon left, and then everybody else will go right. So Sabathiel, since you've done this a few times, I want you to go to the right. And so here we're splitting up.
You can hurl through hell the totems. Sorry, he was asking a question. What are we using hurl for?
Oh, yeah, yeah. And these levers got to be pulled at the same time. And we're going to be moving our way through the hut. And each side is got objectives to do. In this case, it's just pulling a lever. And each objective opens the way for the other side. You can go and hurl that totem, bro. And these grim totems here, there's going to be several of them. And they can be hurled through hell, which is great. If you have hurlers, you can have a hurler on each side and take care of them quickly. But if not, you just beat them down. They don't take that long to beat down. And the shadows will actually disappear if the totems are hurled or beat down.
Yeah, you can also use like mass frog on them. I think turn undead works on too, though.
On the totems?
I think so. I know mass frog does. There's a couple other instills. Everything is nothing.
The other side is basically the same as ours. It's just
they're constructs, aren't they?
slightly different decor. Bunch of mushrooms on the other side. Another totem that we're gonna hopefully hurl, and notice that the shadows will disappear as soon as it's hurled. See, the shadows just went bye-bye.
Only other constructs yet, so you can't be turned.
I don't think anybody on our side would have like sunburst, but sunburst, for example, would insta-kill them, the shadows, and that goes for all shadows in any quest. Sunburst is really awesome to clear them out, or they can be turned using turn undead if you have a cleric. So this barrier will come down when the other side has taken down their totem at this point. And you can see the crew, the other crew is right below us right now. Daniel, you can't get stuck under the hut as far as I know. I've never seen that happen. I think it would just sort of push you out of the way. Or you can just walk away from it. Javon, does blindness ward stop the cauldron? I don't think so. Because I think I have blindness immunity on all my tunes, and I know that I've had it hit me. But I'm not positive. So here, there's a floor tile puzzle that needs to be done. And there's going to be these scarecrows that are going to spawn, which we just beat them down. And they're going to keep respawning. And the puzzle can only be manipulated when all of the scarecrows are dead. So it's really important to kill the scarecrows right, around the same time. If you're insta-killing one and then taking time to beat down the others, then this puzzle can become incompletable. Oops. There's always a scarecrow alive. So this is a point, like, if you're in a disorganized group, like, this part can take a really long time if people aren't focused on killing the scarecrows at the same time. Because you only have a few seconds in between each round of scarecrows.
And they're constructs too. You can smite them and stuff like that.
You can mass frog them, you can implode them. There's another puzzle over here on the right.
If you look through the floor grates, you can see us downstairs.
Now we have this giant scarecrow to deal with. And the giant scarecrow, if it walks over the puzzle, see if I can show you. Whoever has the aggro, just drag him over the puzzle. I just want to show you that when the giant scarecrow goes over the puzzle, he messes it up. So you want to...
You don't want to kill him because he'll just respawn.
Yep. And so basically you just need one person to tank him or kite him around. So whoever has their aggro. And what I like to do, if you want to come back here for a moment, guys, is I like to just bring him back here and then and then stand in the middle of the door. And then he can't get past me if I'm standing in the doorway. So you don't need to beat on the scarecrow. Everybody can go in there and start beating down the little scarecrows. And Tanks, can you do the puzzle?
Yeah.
Or recon? Thanks, bud. So same thing here. Respawning little scarecrows. The floor tile puzzle can only be manipulated when all the little scarecrows are dead, and you just want to keep the big scarecrow away from the puzzle. These are constructs, so like with the big scarecrow, you can't just like intim him off of whoever has the aggro. You can DPS them to try to get their attention, but sometimes the aggro of this giant scarecrows can be a little frustrating to deal with, especially if you got people DPSing them because they're not paying attention. They get pulled around, they get pulled over the puzzle, and again, you know, this part can become incompletable if people aren't organized and are just killing things all willy-nelson. Humble man, you don't play DDO anymore, but you're here watching. Retired from Galanda, nice. Seeing what the new raids are, huh? This is a much more simple raid than the Strahd raid. Strahd is definitely a more intricate raid. So now we got 4 scarecrows and 2 giant scarecrows to deal with, and 2 floor tile puzzles. Sahaga, why don't you, since you're a paladin, why don't you go back there and stand in the doorway? Actually, yeah, go back there, but I'll bring them back to you. I'll show you, like, it doesn't matter if you have the aggro or not, because what I'm going to do is have you move aside so they come through, and I'll bring them back. And then now you stand in the door once they're both through. So you stand in the doorway now, in the middle of the door. Right, and stay right there and just shield block, and they won't be able to get past you. Even though I have the aggro.
They all need to die at the same time, guys. All the little scarecrows. We're just killing them out of sequence. There we go.
Okay, these are done. Notice that all the scarecrows, the big and the little ones, disappear when the puzzle's done. So now our 2 crews are going to be rejoined. And we're going to go into a room with a crystal and some trash mobs. We're just going to beat down the crystal. You can just drag all the trash to the crystal. The will-o-wisps here can be insta-killed, can be hurled, they can be assassinated. I think they can be frogged.
Quivering palm. You see that one?
Oh yeah, thank you.
There's nothing there.
Okay, now we're back at the start. And now we're going to beat down Baba for the second of third time. So if there's anybody that can insta-kill will-o-wisps, please work on those. Everybody else just drag trash to Baba. And if you have the hut aggro, take it to the outside. So insta-killers on wisps, everybody else on Baba. Whoever has the hut, take it away. I have the hut. I don't have the hut anymore. Remember, there's a buff in your buff bar that says the hut hates you, and it looks like a rage face. That's how you'll know for sure if you have it. No, Javon, we're just on normal. Piece of cake. I'm just gonna kick back and put it on auto attack. If anybody in the live stream has questions, feel free to ask. You know, my attention is focused mainly on the folks here in the raid, but I'm watching the chat and responding to questions when I can. Her spells can definitely hurt on higher difficulties, and the Will-O-Wisp can be especially painful on higher difficulties. Okay, Baba's taking another break, and we get to do everything that we just did again. Except, we're going to switch sides so the new folks can see the other side. And we can go ahead and use this shrine now. Now, if you were in a situation where, like, one side was struggling, you can go back. Like, if we were out, you know, way ahead doing the floor tile puzzles or something, and, you know, everybody died on the other side, or they just need help over there, you can go back. You know, you might have to run through the bees, but if you have any kind of self-healing, you'll probably be able to self-heal through it. So
My R1 is pretty vicious, man. He would be a good healer. He'll do that shit.
it's been a while since I think we've only done R1 like twice, so I can't remember. I don't think I went through the bees on R1. Okay, so going right now will be Voodoo, Recon, and all the first timers. So we're just switching sides now, just so you guys can see what the other side looks like. But it's all the same kind of objectives. What brought that barrier down just now is that the other side just completed their objective. Remember, everything that we're doing is opening the way for them, and everything they're doing is opening the way for us. So that with this barrier up, it just means they have a totem to hurl or something. Stein, your voice isn't coming through. Like, it's really, really distorted. Having two hurlers for this raid makes it a lot quicker. Makes this part a lot quicker because you can hurl the totems. So, if you ever join a pug, they're probably going to, want to get 2 hurlers.
Yeah, if you got 4, it makes it real quick because they have, it's such a long timer. You just back, boom, boom. Plus, it's nice for the list and shit,
Hell yeah. The bees are really slow, Siobhan. So we'd be waiting around a while. Somebody in the live stream said we should have waited for the bees so you guys could see them. But you know what? For the first timers, let's go back right now. Let's see where the bees are, just so we can see, and you guys can see. Let's just go right back, just for posterity. And you'll get a feel for how quickly the bees are moving through. I don't know if they move faster on higher difficulties. Okay, see, they're just now in the entrance room. So you can see they move really slow. And go ahead and stand inside the bees, just so you can see. Like, they're just ticking for, like, you know, 20, 30 damage on me. So, they're not going to eat you up quickly. But you can imagine if you had a really slow group. Oh, we need to go to the right. Trying to do those puzzles and everything while you got bees on you would be a big pain. And I definitely have heard about pugs having the bees catch them because they were disorganized.
Yeah, I haven't eaten or one of those. It was just over at that point, Life just,
Okay, same thing, just floor tile puzzle, scarecrows that we want to kill at the same time. I don't normally go right, usually go left. It's not as quick as with these puzzles. to one with a big scarecrow. If anybody else wants to try standing in the door to see how, how bad it hits, go ahead. Just stand in the doorway right now and I'll run it by you. Just stay right there, and then it won't be able to get past you. I think you might be able to like stand on some mushrooms too on this side. I'm not sure. I don't usually go this way. Alright, oh precious, they're all yours. Oh, you gotta stay in the door. Otherwise they'll go right by you. Okay, we're out of sequence here. There we go. Nice. Okay, we're done here. The other side still gotta do theirs. So then we're just gonna join back together again, and
Don't run the big scarecrows over here, they'll mess up the puzzle.
can they mess it up? Oh crap.
Yeah, bro.
I thought that once it was done they wouldn't be able to mess it up. Well, I just learned something.
Oh no. You have to keep them off there until the other side's done.
Right in the middle of the door, oh. Otherwise they get right by you. There you go. That was my bad because I said we were done here. Okay, looks like we're done
No,
now.
boys, we learned something. Some people did.
So we're joining back together and we're going right back to that crystal room. And we're going to beat down the crystal again. Once the crystals beat
You
down,
guys in here, there is a death timer even on normal.
oh, thank you. Death timer on normal, in case you didn't hear it. So we're going back out to the start, and we're going to beat down Baba again, this time all the way to 0, and when she is beat down to 0, we win. So insta-killers on Will-O-Wisps again, please. Everybody else to Baba. Once Baba gets down to, oh, I don't know, maybe 70% health, 2 very large shambling mounds are going to come out. And they don't need to be killed in order to complete the raid, just Baba needs to die. So we usually just have one person tank them or kite them. I'll see if I can grab their aggro and pull them aside. But they're going to do this special attack that drains our hit points. And it's a big hit to our maximum hit points. And like, I don't know if it comes back or what, but if it does, it takes a while. So people with lower hit points can definitely be very vulnerable at that point. Here come the big boys. Don't DPS them. Okay, I have their aggro. I'm just going to pull them aside. And when they're charging up their special attack, they're going to get a big orange aura around them. Looks like the Druid spell Body of the Sun. And it takes maybe 30 seconds for them to charge up their attack. But then when it goes off, that's when you lose a bunch of your hit points. You can look at them now. You'll see they're charging up their special attack. As far as I know, there's nothing you can do. It's just you gotta power through it. And their attack just went off. Take a look at your hit points.
Stuff that gives you temporary hit points is really nice to start. Like legendary green steel, like procs that 1,000 extra or whatever. You know, you lose so much hit points.
So all we gotta do now is beat down Baba, and then we win. I suppose this part could get messy if, you know, the person who's kiting or tanking the big boys, maybe they go down and then they start attacking the party, but... Or if the Will-O-Wisp got out of hand. Didn't have a good way to beat them down very quickly, and maybe if you had some squishy folks, those could get pretty unruly. And that's all for Baba. It's a pretty simple raid. It does require, you know, some coordination in the puzzles, you know, killing the scarecrows at the same time and stuff, but there's really not a whole lot to it. But if anybody has any questions, let me know. And let's see, Sahaga and Stein, you two were the first sign-ups, so you guys open the chests. Sahaga and Stein. Good luck on your loots, guys. Just like all legendary raids, you get runes here. You get hut runes. Those things you save up 1250, and you can use it to buy the raid loot from the raid quest giver. And you get more of those runes on higher difficulties. Did we get anything?
Nope.
Skunked. What a bummer. Two questions. Okay, shoot. And she's aiding and abetting a vampire who's terrorizing Barovia. That's what she did. Okay, 1. How do you pull the levers with the bees hitting you? Well, the only levers that you have to pull, I think, would be pretty early on. I guess there's that one lever at the end, too. I guess you'd have to be quick and get it in between ticks. Because it doesn't tick that fast. I mean,
Yeah.
you got time to pull a lever.
Yeah, you time it right.
What's your second question? That was the Shambling Mountain special attack. That's right. Well, one thing I want to make clear is that shrine that we used, you know, it could have been used, you know, at any point when we're in the hut, but only once. You know, we passed through that point a couple of times, but usually I think groups always, you know, shrine there after you get it after you pass through it the second time, after the second Baba beatdown. Okay, guys, don't forget to turn this one in. And we're going to do the Curse of Strahd next, and the raid entrance for the Curse of Strahd is in the Blood on the Vine Tavern. But if you guys want to go ahead and take a few minutes to grab a drink or something, go for it. Also, you're going to need remove curse pots for Strahd, so if you don't have those, please take a moment to get them. That's something you should have on all your tunes at all times anyways. But if you don't, make sure you get them.
We'll need a trapper.
Musk is getting Treadway.
Okay.
Does anybody in the live stream have any questions about Baba?
Treadway's back.
Oh, thank you. I don't have guild chat up. Welcome back.
Well, thank you.
Guys, curse pot's the only thing I can think of that they would need ahead of time, but if I'm missing something, let me know. No, we don't really use those anymore. use one in here just to show as an example, because I'm sure there are still some groups that do those. Yeah, you don't get stuck. You just can walk right away from it. Alright, whenever you're ready, just go ahead and step into the Curse of Strahd. And I want to know, for the folks watching the live stream, if you guys have done this before, if who here is totally new to it and learning along with us. Okay, everybody's in. Who's a first timer here? And who's done it before?
I'm gonna need you to go ahead and hold my hand.
Stein, if you want to restart or something to try to fix your voice, you're well. We don't mind waiting, but you're coming through like you're Mickey Mouse or something. It's unintelligible. Okay, that's fine. This is a much more intricate raid than Baba. It does require, there's at least one spot that requires some pretty intense coordination. And I'm going to give everybody a link to like a visual aid, a map that we're going to be referring to later. I hope that you have the ability to pull this up, but if you don't, let me know. Because it's going to be important to refer to this when we're doing one of the objectives later on. Let me get that link for you. Take a moment to pull that up, please. If you have a second monitor, keep it up on your second monitor. If not, have it up in the background or something. And folks watching the live stream, that's the visual aid that I'm going to be referring to. And that actually is kind of I think has my guildie's made that, and it has like instructions for all the different parts of the raid, but specifically it's the part with the crypts. Which is phase 3 on that guide. And there's like the part of the map in the lower left hand corner that has like all the color coded little crypts there. They're all in different colors, and it's like A1, A2, A3, A4, etc. We'll be referring to that later. Alright, first thing is when you talk to Madam Eva here, and you tell her to tell you your fortune, she's going to list out some cards, and it's important to remember this order. And she does say it in general chat, or in say or whatever, so if you miss it, you should be able to see it there. So later on in the raid, there's going to be these cards in different crypts, and we're gonna have to like light up these torches in that order. There's like a torch in front of each one of the cards, and you gotta light them up. You gotta do the 5 in order to progress. And that's when we're gonna be referring to that map later on. But we got a few things to do before then. Bolo, do you want to go ahead and grab the Sun Sword?
Yep, I got it.
Thank you. So Rudolph here has 3 quest items. One of them is the Sun Sword, which Bolo just linked, and that's necessary to be able to damage Strahd. So it's great if like the tank can carry that. It doesn't have to be the tank. But if you don't hit Strahd with the Sun Sword, then he can't take damage. And if you hit him with it, then maybe for about 10 seconds he can take damage. But you basically gotta keep hitting him with it. And then Rudolph has 2 other items: the icon of Ravenloft, and I think the holy symbol of Ravenloft or something like that. And those are used to get rid of what's called the grip of Strahd. And basically, like, after we get into phase 2 of the raid, Strahd is just gonna screw with us for the rest of the raid, and like is gonna sort of randomly, well, it's not actually random, it's on a timer. I believe there are 2 separate timers. But you're gonna get this thing called the grip of Strahd. One person at random is gonna get it, and you're gonna be frozen in place. And you're gonna have 10 seconds to speak up and tell everyone that you have the grip, so that whoever has the icon and the holy symbol can hit you with it. It doesn't matter which one. You don't have to hit it with both, just one or the other. And so what you do is you have 2 different people, pick those up, and those are the people that are going to be assigned to, hitting people with that get the grip. And it's really important that when you get it, you say something as quickly as possible, because you only have 10 seconds. And if you don't get that removed in those 10 seconds, you're going to die. And there is a death timer. And it's a pretty long one. So if you're on mic, don't hesitate. Interrupt loudly, clearly, like, Voodoo's got the grip, Voodoo's got the grip. Like, that's how it works in this raid. You're not being rude. That's what we want you to do. Just talk over everybody so everybody knows that you have the grip. But if you sit there quiet, like, you're going to be dead. And that's just the way it is. And so people who aren't on mic are at a serious disadvantage here, especially if you're grouped with people like me who don't pay as close attention to party chat. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the icon.
In the mic, is it too bad on the background noise?
It's good.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
The symbols have a very small range too. You have to be pretty close to somebody to cast it on them.
Yeah,
if you're far away, you're probably screwed.
The range on it is probably only like from me to you guys. Like, it sucks. It is a lot shorter than the range of like a standard spell even.
Yeah, you only have 10 seconds. So.
And you only got 10 seconds. I'm gonna need one of the High Lords to grab the other item. I have the icon. I need one of the High Lords to grab the holy symbol, please. Preferably not Yao, since he's gonna be focused on healing. So that means Treadway, Recon, or Turek. It's got to be one of you guys.
I mean, I can do it if nobody else will.
Yeah, why don't you grab it, dude? And the icon and the holy symbol are actually trinkets, so you have to equip them to use them. You don't have to keep them equipped the whole time, but just know that, especially if you get like equipment swapping lag, like some people, like I get it, like I try to swap equipment, like a lot of times it'll hang up for half a second or something. So that's, a little bit extra time. and they only have 3 charges. But when it's depleted, they will recharge, but they only recharge back up to 1 charge. But it's not like you're rapid firing this thing anyways, and it recharges pretty quickly in like 5 or 10 seconds. I think you have to have it equipped to recharge, but like I said, it recharges pretty quick, so it's not like you have to keep it on for a long time. So, if your trinket's important, you don't have to keep wearing it. Just if you run out of charges, keep it equipped until it recharges once, and then you can equip your regular trinket again. But it's really important that people that know what to do with that get that. You need to have people that know this raid, basically are familiar with what to do with it to get those 2 items. And so basically whoever has the grip, you call it out. Voodoo's got the grip. Say your name and say you got the grip, and then we will target you. All you have to do is target the person with the grip, and then click on the holy symbol or the icon, and they'll get rid of it. And like I said,
Make sure you keep talking so that we can see your green bar lighting up. If you just say it once and stay quiet, then it's kind of hard to find out who you are and target you.
That's a great point. Just keep saying it. Voodoo's got the grip. Voodoo's got the grip. Voodoo's got the grip until somebody hits you. And like I said, you're not being rude. That's how it is. Please be obnoxious about it. The more obnoxious you are about it, the more likely you are to get the grip removed from you. Alright. So we're going to go up the steps now. And through the door. Oops. And we're going to fight Rahadin and a couple of Shadows of Hate. Bolo's going to tank that stuff for us. Some other trash mobs. Hellhounds. The Shadows of Hate are going to put a buff on you called Shadow Rend Curse. And you can use remove curse potions to get rid of that. And the Shadow Rend Curse is going to lower your hit points and lower your con. So it's really important to not let that stack up too much. And just attack these guys from behind. They hit pretty hard. And this is just on normal.
Anytime these guys swing, you're going to see a debuff in your buff bar, and if you drink a curse spot, it's going to remove that.
Okay, this is the crypt area. And that map I was talking about earlier that we were going to be referring to, that's this area right now. But that objective where we're going to have to be coordinated, and that's not till later. We got some other things to do first. But I just wanted to, open up your map and take a look at this area. It's like a grid of crypts. And right now the doors are red. That means they can't be toggled. So later on they'll turn green, meaning they can be opened. But right now they stay closed. But there's some trash mobs in here that we're going to clear out. A bunch of like lesser Shadows of Hate. They look just like the things that we just fought, except they're not red named, they're orange. And they actually can be like crowd controlled and insta-killed. So we're just going to make a big loop. We're going to go to the southwest corner and just basically make a big loop around until we get, I believe it's 21 kills. There's a fixed number of trash mobs. Just fight them as we get to them. Right now we're at a total of 13 kills. We'll know we have them all once we get to 21. And we want to clear this stuff out now, because if we didn't kill it now, we'd have to deal with it later. When we come back to this part, so it's just nice to get them out of the way. We're at 20 kills, so there's one more of these guys.
That's 21.
Okay, so now we're going to go to the east, down the steps. And this is the only shrine in the raid, but we're going to come back here later, so save it for now. And now we're going to... most groups will just detour. But, you know, if you wanted to, you could... If you didn't have detour, you could just run back up the steps and go back out the way we came in. But we're just going to go ahead and detour. Just everybody take a detour.
If you need FOM, please let me know.
I'm gonna take a phone, please.
Sheriff, please.
After Strahd there goes through his dialogue, this is the point in which the grip is going to start happening. So remember, just call it out. Say your name, that you got the grip, so we can hit you. And go ahead and talk to Rudolph, or I talk to Rudolph, which opens up the dimension door. Go ahead and take that detour. And we're going to be climbing some stairs, which have lots and lots of traps. So you're going to be very careful. What we're going to do is we're going to have a couple people out front. Let's say me and Bolo out front. Once we get up to the next set of stairs. Right now everybody can help kill this trash. It was a big spiral staircase. Just grab stones and take it up with us. Somebody got Ildrig stone.
There's also heavy gravity in this section.
Thank you, yes. So, there's all kinds of traps here. There's like translucent spikes. You can be very careful and you know, meander through them. There's going to be air jets shooting out of the wall that try to blow you down. Heavy gravity, so you're going to fall really quickly if you get blown off. And usually what we like to do is have a couple people out front, sort of getting the aggro of the trash. And then there's like...
Treadway needs foam.
Then
Hill
there's,
Dragonstein should have a farm. If anyone can give it to them.
there's usually a lot of deaths in this part. So there's so many traps. It's very easy to hit the spikes. But with, you know, two people out front grabbing the aggro of the trash mobs, and then like sort of trapper in the middle, and everybody else hanging out in the back, getting the trash from the backside. Yeah, you were way too far out front there, Ildrig. So I want me and Bolo out front, and everybody else should be hanging together in the back. And I don't want folks to get more than about 180 degrees. Of separation, just so if, you know, somebody's got the grip, you know, we're not really far away from each other. You guys can keep moving up. Just drag the trash with you. The air jets are tricky. They shoot a jet, and then they pause, and then they shoot back-to-back jets. So it kind of tricks you into thinking it's safe. But what you really want to do is wait till after it shoots twice before you go, if you're trying to move past it.
We're kind of spread out way far away. Let's just bring off the trash and move up.
You don't want to get ahead of the crew, guys.
I should get blown off. You know, stay behind the traps. You want to go till the trapper gets the traps.
I got blown off. I'll get Sabbath Stone.
All right, let's slow down and get group back up.
This part is definitely not a race. You want to move, you know, slowly and carefully up the steps. Don't get ahead of the trapper. And the trapper should be behind the two folks out front. In this case, me and Bolo. Right now, Stein, you need to be back there with that crew, not up here with me and Bolo.
Polo's got the grip. Polo's got the grip. Polo's got the grip. Polo's got the grip.
Gotcha. I got lucky there. Zavon Mass Frog is an epic spell that you get by taking a feat. And it's basically like it's like a mass insta-kill. You can turn, I don't know, 4 or 5 mobs or so. I don't know what I don't really have any experience using it, but you can turn, I don't think it's more than about a half a dozen mobs into like little frogs. Basically kills them. And I believe it's a wisdom base, but it might, I'm not even sure on that. Couple greater shadows of hate here. We're just gonna beat down. It's great if you have a tank that can hold their aggro. Otherwise it can get pretty messy if they're running all around.
Recon's got the grip. I got the grip. Recon's got the grip. Recon's got the grip. Grip. Thank you, sir.
Also looks like there may be some skulls behind us. And some animated armor coming up the stairs.
Yep, it's called Mass Frog.
Chaga's got the grip. 3, 2. Sorry.
It's okay. That's what this event is for.
Yeah, that gives you an idea how much time you got, really. And
It,
You really
you gotta be really
quickly.
quick.
even people that are experienced with this raid, just it's easy to not notice it in time. You know, 10 seconds is a really short window, and when you're bunched up, it's easy to miss. It's just how it goes.
Yep.
Okay, this part You know, if there were dead people at this point, you probably want to wait until everybody gets up before you continue. And if you're waiting at any point in the raid, if you're waiting to raise people or whatever, and everybody's just standing around, it's best to stay split up, because if everybody's bunched up, you can't see when you got the grip. And sometimes what we'll even do is actually just sleep. Like if we had like a couple dead people here and they were on timer for a couple minutes, you can actually type /sleep, and when you get the grip, it'll make you stand up. So like you really pop out if you have the grip. So like I said, it's just, we would just do that here, like if we were waiting to get people raised, but we don't have anybody that's dead. So at this point, the person with the sun sword. Oh, does anybody have any questions about any part of the raid up to this point? The person with the sun sword clicks on the heart here, the heart of Castle Ravenloft, the big orange crystal, and then like chooses to plunge it in there, and then that would open up the way. So everybody just go ahead and click on the heart, and it's going to take us to like a separate room. Stay out of the mist, don't back up into the mist. We need to stay in the center, and there's going to be a bunch of trash mobs. This part can get pretty rowdy on higher difficulties. There'll be a whole bunch of shadows of hate. Strahd's going to be here. There's going to be some living fingers of death, I think, or living disintegrates or something. Some animated armors. Hellhounds.
The trash dives would win. We don't even hit Strahd.
And see these circles that are coming up? That's gonna be a burst of negative energy. So if that hurts you, then you need to move out of those blue circles. Here come the shadows of hate. No sweat. That fight can get really out of hand on higher difficulties if you don't have like crowd control to deal with the shadows or something. And we sometimes, it seems to be pretty common to get lag here too, and that can be especially deadly. Any trick to not walking into those spikes? Not really. You just have to very carefully, like, look closely and just navigate yourself as carefully as you can through the safe path through them.
Yeah, you can make it all the way through them without hitting if you really do, but it's hard to do.
Can they be evaded?
One trick I use is if you select yourself, you see a little circle around where your person is, then you can use that to navigate in between the spikes.
Okay. Yeah, it's force damage, so I'm not surprised there. Just have a bunch of hit points.
I think you can evade you can evade the traps.
Okay, the sun sword's here on the ground, so the person that is assigned to the sun sword should go ahead and pick that up, Bolo. And another D-door comes up, go ahead and take that D-door. And we're going to go to the top now. Do not talk to Esmeralda, please. Very important to not talk to her. I see what you did there, Bolo. He's got
I
the
forgot
little,
that worked.
he's got the little stop symbol over his head. You can type /stop to do that. So once Esmeralda is talked to here, it will advance to the next part of the raid. It will also lock out the shrine. So what we're going to do now is we're going to D-door and all use the shrine. And Bolo is going to stay here, and he's going to be the one to talk to Esmeralda when we get ready. But right now we want to shrine up, and we're going to talk about how the next part works. And everybody will get in position. But let's go ahead and take a D-door. It's kind of a weird thing they did here with, talking to Esmeralda locks out that shrine. So, detouring at that part to come use the shrine is kind of weird. It's kind of breaks up the raid, but it's just the way it was designed. We can still get the grip at this point, so if you get it, call it out. Go ahead and shrine up. It's the only shrine, and this is the last chance we have to use it. Because as soon as, like I said, as soon as somebody talks to Esmeralda, it will lock out this room. I don't know if you can get it up there. I've never, we've never had anybody get the grip up top there. So that might be like a grip-free
Yeah, I
zone.
don't think you can.
Yeah, I know. I've been the one to stand up here for a large number of these raids, and I've never gotten them up here.
You said you've never gotten the grip, right?
I have never gotten the grip while up here.
You can definitely get the grip while waiting in front of the heart, which is only like a little bit down the steps from it. But like Bolo said, he's never gotten it. I've never seen anybody get it up there at the top.
Yeah, if something crazy like that did happen, though, you could just go up the stairs again, and go all the way back up there.
This next part of the raid is really crucial. It's a part of the raid that requires a lot of coordination if you want to basically make it easy, in a manner of speaking. If you can get folks to stay focused and everybody do their part, this next part can be over in like 30 seconds. Okay, but if it's disorganized, this part can be incompletable, because we're going to go over to the crypts and it's endless spawning trash mobs. As far as I know, it's endless spawning, and the longer we're in there, the more mobs we're just going to have to deal with. But the mobs they all disappear and stop spawning once. This is going to be the part where we're going to have to hit the 5 cards in the correct order. Remember, as the fortune teller gave us those 5 cards at the start? And that was the order, and that's the order we're going to have to hit them in. Marionette, Broken One, Innocent, Dark Lord, and Horseman. So, before we start referring to that map and stuff, I want everybody to go ahead and come up this ramp. And I just want to show you this little cubby down here. That, what we used to do is we would grab all the trash and bring it down here. For some reason, I don't know if it's working as intended, it's kind of a weird little thing, but there's a real short death timer here in this cubby. It's only like 6 seconds, as opposed to if you're outside the cubby, then it's like, a lot longer. So we used to, round up the trash, and I suppose it's still good to know that, if you were in a group and you weren't very organized and you had to, sort of regroup, you can always drag all the trash here and fight it here and, get everybody back up and stuff. We can still get the grip, so make sure you're watching for that. So if you open up your map, you'll see there's a whole bunch of crypts. And as soon as, like right here, you can see the door is red. You can't toggle it. But as soon as someone talks to Esmeralda, the doors will turn green and they can be opened. And inside those crypts, there might be a card and a torch. It's gonna be those 5 cards are in these are randomly located throughout these crypts. And so we need to locate the 5 cards and then hit them in the right order. And you only have about a 30-second window to hit them. Once you hit the first one, you got about 30 seconds to click the rest of them. I don't know what the exact amount of time is, but it's somewhere around 30 seconds. Maybe it's a minute. I'm sure it's not more than a minute. And then it just would reset. Like if you didn't get it in the right order, or you ran out of time, you would just need to start over. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be splitting up, and everybody is going to be assigned to open up a few doors. So what I really need to know, because this requires really important coordination. I need to know if there's anybody here that is unable to pull that map up and refer to it. If you can't, it's okay. I'm just going to make sure that like I don't give you any kind of responsibility that you're not going to be able to cover. And there's that map again. I'm going to pull mine up. Is there anybody who's not able to pull that up? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign everybody to colors, to a colored cluster of crypts, and you're going to be responsible for opening those 3 or 4 doors. Now, what we used to do when we did this as a teaching raid in the winter, we would mark the cards, but we don't really need to do that. But the way we would mark them is like you can use like a Big V's hand, like that right there, and notice that that puts a red X on the map. If you look at your map, there's a red X there. So it's a real nice, convenient way to mark the cards. So if you ever join a pug, they might do that. They might mark the crypts, and that way you can just open up your map and you can see where the cards are. But what we're going to do is, like I said, everybody's going to be assigned to open 3 or 4 doors, and if you have a card there, you're going to stay at it. But make sure you open up all your doors. Don't just if the first door you open has a card, don't just stop there. You got to get them all open, because there might be 2 at your location. And then we're going to
3 once.
and and then if you don't have a card, just go to somewhere where there is one. If there's already a couple people there, then go to another one. And if you have a card at your location, it's great if you can type it in. And so like if you have, let's say, you're at location A1 and you have the marionette card there. You could just type MA1. Every one of the cards starts with a different letter, so you don't have to type out the whole card name. You don't have to type out marionette. You could just say MA1. We'll all know that marionette is at A1. And that way, if you were to die or something, we would know that, where to go. Like I said, this part does require, a lot of coordination, but it's worth doing it this way, because if you get it right, this part's over in 30 seconds, whereas if you get it wrong, then this can turn into 30 minutes of fighting trash and raising people and getting the grip and yada yada yada. So it just requires like about 30 seconds of intense focus and coordination, and then you're done with it. So everybody will be assigned to a different color cluster, and then once we assign everybody a color and a location, everybody will get in place. Once everybody's in place, then Gijo will talk to and get it started, and then the doors will turn green, allowing us to toggle them. You'll open the 3 or 4 doors that you're assigned to, and then if you have a card, you'll stay at that card and you'll click it when we call it out. You'll just click whatever card we call out, and if you're at that card, if we call it marionette, it's great if you can say marionette done. If you open up a crypt and you see a card but you can't read it, like it just looks like it's blank or whatever, it's because the wording, the text, and the picture is on the other side. It's just facing away from the door of the crypt. So don't freak out if you see a card and it looks like it doesn't say anything. Just look at the card from the other side. Or basically the card might not be facing the door. So open all your doors first, and if you have a card, type in where, like I said, if you have marionette and you're at location A1, type in MA1, or if you have broken one and you're at H2, type in BH2, or whatever it is. Go to your card. If you don't have a card, go to some place that there is one. When we call out that card, doesn't matter who clicks on it, we just need one person to click on it. And then we're just going to keep going through all the cards. So about 10 seconds after we start opening up these doors, I'm just going to start calling them out. And then you need to click on your card. But let me assign everybody to a location. it's so in what I'm saying here, like Stein, you're gonna be the West purple group. If anybody doesn't know what I'm trying to say, when I'll explain it again. But hopefully you have that map up, and when I say West purple, you know exactly. Like the West purple, for example, are the ones that are labeled A2, B3, and A3. If you're colorblind and you can't see the colors, let me know, and I'll tell you the locations. Okay, let's see. There should be probably one person that doesn't have a color. So Voodoo will be at West Orange, Turek West Green, Stein West Purple, Yao West Red, Recon West Yellow, Ildrig East Yellow, Sohu East Red, Sahaga East Green, Sabathiel East Orange, Treadway East Purple. Does everybody understand what they're supposed to do? You go to your colors. Once we advance it and the doors can be opened, you open up all your doors. If you have a card, you stay at it. Type in the card and the location, and when we start calling out the cards, you hit it. I'm probably making it sound way more intense than it is, but it's really important that we have good coordination. The thing is, like, once this next part is activated, once we can start toggling the doors, at about 10 seconds after that, trash is going to start spawning, and a lot of it. And remember, as soon as we hit all 5 of these cards in order, the trash goes away.
If you hit the torches too fast, though, those greater shadows stay. We did it the other day, and we hit them too fast.
That was pretty ridiculous.
We had to beat them down.
We actually hit all of the cards before the trash finished spawning, and then we had, like Recon is saying, we had 2 of the greater shadows that we had to deal with. 2 or 4 of them. It's kind of stupid, but...
Oh yeah, it was 4 of them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's still better than, the alternative, but...
Okay, everybody, go to your location. Go to your color group of crypts. Now, on the map, the little... I didn't specify this, but it shows which side of the crypt that the door is on.
Can you type the order in again? It's all the way at the top.
So once everybody's in place, we're going to get it started. And just 10 seconds after we start opening doors, I'm just going to start calling it out. And if you're at that card, you just click on the torch. You're not clicking on the card, you're clicking on the torch. And once you've clicked on it, to light the torch, say Marionette Done or whatever you're at. If you don't get a card, you go to where there is one. Anybody not clear on what to do? Okay, Gijo, fire it up.
Alright, talking to Esmeralda.
We'll see if we can get this done. Nothing there. Nothing there. Hey, Marionette. Click Marionette.
You gotta click on the torch below the card.
Broken one.
Yeah, Sergey's got the Strahd. Everybody's near me. Broken one's done.
Innocent. Is Innocent done?
Still waiting on Innocent.
Dark Lord. Ah, I thought I just hit it. That was the wrong one. Okay, we gotta go back to our cards. I don't know who.
Okay.
I don't know who was at Innocent, but
Yeah, this is broken one, man.
yep.
I had already hit it.
Is somebody at Innocent? I need to know if somebody's
I'm
at.
fighting trash.
I need to know if somebody's at Innocent. Nobody has found the Innocent card. Okay, I'm just gonna run around until I find
Let
it.
me go look.
Okay,
So who got it?
we're gonna call it out again. Marionette, hit Marionette.
I hit Marionette.
Broken one.
Done.
Innocent. Dark Lord, and now the last one, Horseman. Hit Horseman. And that's
Done.
it. Oh, stay out of the mist in the center. I forgot to say that. I totally forgot about the mist. Stay out of the red mist.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to.
You can go around the mist at either end of it. The north or the south. Now everybody heads over to the west. So that wasn't so bad on normal, but on higher difficulties, that trash gets really out of hand.
You really gotta be on the cards. You get them. Like we would have wiped there. Like, our own.
But, you know, if it got out of hand, you know, and you just, like, a bunch of people were dead, like I said, you can go over to that corner, and you can just, you know, beat trash down in that little cubby, and there's a small death timer there. So go ahead and split up now and sleep, because I want to explain how the end fight's going to work. And if you want to, you can sleep up against that glass up there, against that barrier, so you can so you can look into that room. So now we're going to do the end fight. And in the end fight, there are only 4 mobs. There's Strahd, and there's his 3 brides. And we have to kill Strahd, and then his 3 brides, and then plunge the Sun Sword into his sarcophagus, where he goes after he goes down, and then once we do that, we win. During the beatdown, there's gonna be that mist, that red mist spawning. It's gonna spawn it's like a rectangular room, a wide rectangular room. The mist will pop up, and then, or there's gonna be like a safe zone, like in the middle, or it might be in the north or the south. So we're gonna call it out. you know, everybody go north, or everybody go south, or everybody go to the center. That'll be the safe spot from the mist. You'll be able to see the mist coming up. You have a few seconds to get to the safe spot. And his tell that he's going to do the mist is that he stops, his name turns yellow and he can't be hurt, and he laughs and then disappears, and that's your sign that the mist is coming up. So everybody needs to run to a safe zone. And everybody will be working on Strahd, except one person will be holding the aggro.
Stein is correct. Stein is correct. Stein. There you go.
Got him. One person will be assigned to dealing with the brides, and they'll be prepping the brides down to, like, you know, maybe 15, 10, 15, about 10% health. And the brides are, you know, they're not hard to beat down, but you really want to have somebody who's really self-sufficient. They do a lot of, like, magic missiles, so it's great to have shield, but here's the thing, is they constantly dispel you, so, you know, if you have, like, a permanent shield effect, that's great. Or you just need to be able to, you know, be self-sufficient and heal yourself through all their damage, or have a healer assigned to that person. The brides can be kind of a big pain in the ass for that person that's tanking them and getting them prepped. So everybody will be on Strahd except one person will be on the brides, prepping the brides, while everybody else beats down Strahd. And once the brides are prepped, then we will kill Strahd, and then we're going to kill the brides, and then we do this. Then the person with the sun sword plunges it in, and then we win. The brides respawn when they go down, so it's really important that, you know, once we kill Strahd, that they were already prepped, and that we kill the brides as fast as possible.
Yoa grip. Yoa grip. Yoa has the grip.
You both had it at one time, Stein and Yao. If a bride go, you know, if the brides go down accidentally, you know, before it's time, they'll just respawn to full, and they're.
Sabbath grip.
Sabbath has a grip.
Grip. Sabbath grip.
So we beat down Strahd, get him prepped and ready to go. Hopefully at that point, by the time he's prepped and ready to go, the brides are prepped. We kill Strahd, we kill the brides, plunge the sun sword, we win. During that time of the beatdowns, the mist is going to come up, and we're going to need to stay in the safe zones. I want to make sure that the Strahd team stays on the far side of the room. And when we're moving to the north and south ends, just stay on that south side, or that far side. And then the person with the brides is going to stay on the near side, the stair side, the side that we're on right now. And that's just so that, you know, people aren't DPSing the brides by accident. Nobody should be DPSing the brides other than the person that's assigned to tank them. Not even if, like, we get Strahd prepped and that person isn't ready yet. Like, just let them deal with it, just so there's nobody accidentally taking them down. The brides don't have a ton of hit points, and so they're really easy to, like, do too much damage to and kill them by accident. I guess I'll do the brides unless there's one of the High Lords that wants to do it. And Bolo's gonna tank Strahd. And Yao, if you could keep the party healed and Bolo healed, and I should be able to take care of myself, no problem on normal.
Sounds good.
Any questions about the end fight before we get started? Is there any DR considerations for Strahd?
Silver and good.
Okay.
Or it might be just silver. I think it's silver and good, though.
If anybody needs that on their weapons, maybe
Yeah,
Treadway
good
can
vampire.
help you out.
It was pretty cool. You gotta put the sun sword into heart, and then go beat him down, and you gotta put in the coffin and kill him.
My guildie in the live stream chat said a good point that the sarcophagus that's in the middle, Strahd's sarcophagus, blocks line of sight, which is really important because, if somebody has the grip and the people with the icon and the holy symbol are on the other side of the sarcophagus from them, that it will block it. Even though the sarcophagus is really low to the ground, it does actually block line of sight, so that's an important consideration. When at all possible, we're going to keep Strahd towards the center, so even like when the mist is up, we're going to keep him on the center side of the safe zone. We don't want people like spaced really far apart. The reason we want to stay centered as much as possible so that when the mist changes, we don't have to like run 3 extra seconds through the mist to get to a safe zone. Alright, everybody go ahead and click into the end fight. This part will probably take about 5 minutes to complete. Can definitely take a little bit longer than that on the higher difficulties, but on normal shouldn't take us too long. Spread out a little bit in case anybody gets the grip. Okay, let's go. Everybody on Strahd. We're not even going to worry about the brides until he disappears the first time. And remember, don't DPS the brides.
Bolo's got the grip. Bolo's got the grip. Bolo's got the grip. Bolo still has. There we go.
Everybody go south.
Go
Everybody
south.
south. Everybody south. Remember, everybody stay on the far side. Only the person with the brides will stay on the stairs side. Everybody work on Strahd. As soon as that mist goes away, we're going to go back into the center. And he's going to do that.
The blue circles do an AoE from each.
Yep, that's going to be the AoE negative damage. Stay away from the stairs side, please. Sohu and Treadway.
The mist
Mist.
comes up when he laughs.
Center, center,
Middle.
center, center. Remember, do not DPS the brides.
Sabbateel grip. Sabbath grip. Grip. Sabbateel grip.
How's Strahd?
40%.
Okay, brides are prepped.
Okay, let's take down Strahd.
Voodoo's got the grip. Voodoo grip. Grip, grip, grip. Voodoo grip. That means you recon. Thank you.
Strahd's at 5%.
As soon as Strahd goes down, we switch to the brides, which are at the stairs right now.
Strahd is dead. Strahd is dead.
Brides, brides, brides. Now, Bolo plunges the Sun Sword in, and we win. And that is the Curse of Strahd. Any questions about this raid? And congrats on your first completion, guys.
Awesome ruins, man.
Just
Thanks a lot, guys.
something to point out, since most people didn't see or aren't able to see it. When Strahd dies and we have to plunge the Sun Sword into the sarcophagus, you have to click on the sarcophagus to open up a dialog box, and one of the options is to plunge the Sun Sword in.
Thank you for saying that. Only the person with the
Yeah.
sun sword can do that. Good luck on your loot. I hope we don't get skunked here like we did in Bama. Bell of Warding. It's good for a sonic caster. Do we have any sonic casters here? So maybe Sohu.
Oh, Precious is
And oh, Precious. Oh, okay. Cool. Okay, guys. Any last questions about it? That's all. Any questions about either of the raids?
Out of curiosity, what's it take tanking stats to be able to do this on normal?
Yeah, thanks for coming. Bolo, can you speak to that at all?
Well, I can tell you what my current stats are, but it's way more than what's actually needed for tanking this on normal. And I've got an AC of 310, PRR of 274, and MRR of 155. And generally speaking, the only way I die tanking Strahd is if I get the grip and don't realize it soon enough.
And to give you some more numbers, I'll tank him on R1 with no problem, and my numbers are considerably lower than Bolo's. I have about a 200 armor class, 228 PRR, and about 150 MRR.
Okay, good.
So.
Thanks. I'm just trying to get an idea.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, guys, don't forget to turn it in.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out, and have a great night.
Thanks for
Thanks.
coming,
Thank you all
everyone.
again.
Okay, folks watching the live stream, if anybody has any final questions, let me know. I'm going to shut down the video feed, but I'm going to be monitoring the chat for about 5 minutes. Thanks for joining us, and you guys have a great night.